Today, we're talking about the country that feels like another planet, Iceland. Welcome back to Talk Travel with Samantha, the show where we help you travel smarter, vacation harder, and make memories that last long after your suitcase is unpacked. I'm Samantha from Fabulous Adventures Travel, and today we're heading to one of the most extraordinary places on Earth, Iceland. Now, let me warn you, once you visit Iceland, every other road trip might seem a little boring. Because where else can you drive past glaciers, volcanoes, waterfalls, black sand beaches, steaming geothermal fields, white Icelandic horses, and by the way, the sheep that are all over the place, they're literally all over the place. It's hysterical. And maybe even some northern lights all in the same day. This isn't just another vacation. It's like stepping onto another planet. Today, I'll share what surprised me most about Iceland, what not to miss, common mistakes travelers make, and whether this destination really lives up to the hype. I promise you, it does. All right, let's talk about why Iceland should be on your bucket list. I actually don't really love the bucket list phrase, I guess. It's literally my worst. I honestly hate it. But it's the best way to explain it, right? So here's the amazing thing. Despite its name, Iceland isn't covered in ice. So if you've never been to Iceland, the obviously misconception, right, is that the place is covered in ice. It kind of cracks me up because I don't know. I just think it's super hysterical that it's called Iceland. And by the way, it's not covered in ice. It's actually super uber duper green. It's so gorgeous. So despite looking remote on the map, it's only about a 5 to 6 hour flight from the east coast of the United States. So it's not far. And you can actually get a direct flight from Orlando. It's super not far from here because I'm located in Orlando. So that means you can leave Orlando in the evening and wake up surrounded by waterfalls, right? So one thing that immediately strikes visitors is just how clean everything is. The air feels different, the water tastes incredible, and the crime is incredibly low. It's one of those destinations where people feel comfortable exploring. What makes Iceland unique is that nature isn't just nearby, nature is the attraction. You're not going to Iceland for amusement parks or giant shopping malls. You're going because Mother Nature decided to show off. And that is 1,000% true. The place is magical. And I'm not a nature girl. I don't camp. Like, I could care less about camp. I'm not even a hiker. I love a good walk, I'll be honest. But this place, I wanted to be outside all the time. I never wanted to be inside. The air was crisp and clean and smelled good. I know it's weird. And just like we said, the water tastes phenomenal, even out of the tap. You can drink the water out of the tap. It's amazing. So the way that I did Iceland is I actually took a cruise. I was on Virgin Voyages. I sailed from London and we went to Amsterdam, had the best time. And then we went to Norway, also Scotland. We went up into the Arctic Circle as we made our way down to Iceland. And then we started at the top of Iceland and then came down. I'm going to focus this discussion just on my land trip of Iceland. And if I run out of time, I'm actually going to continue this into the next radio show because we'll just see how this goes. So here we go. So once we got to Reykjavik, we did a whole land trip afterwards. So the cool part about the cruise was we actually docked in Reykjavik the day before we were going to get off. They were kicking us off the ship. So we had an overnight in Reykjavik, which meant that we could sleep on the ship, right, and do whatever we wanted in Reykjavik, which was amazing because it helped give us some time to do, you know, some things right around Reykjavik. And then what we did was rent a car and drive all the way to Jökulsárlón. I'm saying that probably really terrible. So just know that majority of the things that I'm about to say to you are probably not right. I'm not saying them right. So if you're Icelandic listening to this, oh, good God, I'm sorry. So that was basically our trip. So we stayed overnight in Reykjavik, like I said, on the ship. And then we got off, rented a car, and drove completely across the southern coast to the other side, to the east coast, and experienced the most amazing place on the planet. So I have to say there are 2 seasons in Iceland. This is my opinion that there's two seasons in Iceland. One is summer, the other is winter. It's just summer and winter in Iceland. So I will say that I experienced the summer, and there's plenty of things that I didn't do that I really, really wanted to do. So we didn't get to do any of the ice caves because I did go end of July. So going in actually it was probably August by the time we got there. So it was, beginning of August. There's no ice caves to walk through or do any of that. There's also no northern lights in the summer. So know that if you're going in the summer, which is a lot of the times when people go, there are no northern lights in the summer. You're not going for, if that is your dream to see northern lights out of a glass igloo, which you totally can do there because that was on my list of things to do, you're not getting that in the summer because it doesn't exist. So my suggestion, so what we did was we rented a car, like I mentioned, and it's really okay. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to rent a car in another country. I'm scared. No, this is super, like, if I can tell you how easy this was, it was uber easy. Not Uber as in rent, rent a car from them. It was super duper easy. So seriously, rent a car. The freedom to stop every 5 minutes was amazing. So we did. So funny, when we got off the ship, we went to the airport, Reykjavik airport. We rented the car from there knowing that we were going to fly out of there eventually, so that way we had the car from there and we could just, kind of drive around and return it. Well, we went straight to the Blue Lagoon, which is the most popular place. So if you ever see those pictures with the blue water and the geothermal, steam coming out of it, and it looks like this milky white blue water, that's the Blue Lagoon. Super popular. Everybody goes there. You can't miss it. And that's where we went straight to. Well, prior to us arriving, like maybe a month or two prior to us, the volcano erupted. And it went somehow, by the grace of God, or by them, now understanding how lava works, which I really just don't think that's a thing at this point. But, I don't follow that, so I don't really know. But anyways, by the grace of God, by the grace of nature, by the volcano's grace of nature, it went around the Blue Lagoon, the lava. And it came around and did not go into the Blue Lagoon, and it didn't, take over the place. But what it did do was it had this amazing, black lava rock everywhere, and to drive through that, brand new. So it's bubbled up and sticking up, and I was like, this is crazy. You could still see the steam coming off of it. And it was 2 months ago. So that was nuts for me. So when we drove through that, we didn't have the time to stop at that moment because we had appointments at the Blue Lagoon. And honestly, I wanted to get in and, get started on, all the things that you do at the Blue Lagoon. And so I was like, my mouth was wide open. So what I was trying to say is that that renting the car does provide for the fact that you now can stop and do those kind of things. So what we did was I said to the people in my car, because we did take some of my clients with me, I said, hey, do you mind if we go backwards and we don't head off to Helen? Because it's not, by the way, it's not Helen. I'm sure it's some other name. That's how it was spelled. I said, do you mind if we just go backwards just a tiny bit? I want to go see that lava rock, I want to stand in it. So we did. And it was just around the corner. Honest to God, it was not far. So we went right around the corner. We parked. There was actually parking there because other people, and you could see where the streets were, where it melted the streets away, where the yellow line stopped, the double yellow line stopped, and where now there's just lava over these streets. And they had built brand new streets to go around this, this rock, this new rock formation. Well, it also had signs that said, do not walk on the lava rocks because they're still hot and they still have that gas that emits from them, and you should not be breathing it in. Meanwhile, by the way, I'm not standing too far away, so in my head I'm like, I'm dying, I can't breathe. I'm breathing in. I didn't do that, but that's kind of what I had a little panic about, I have to be honest. And it also said not really to touch them, but you could see that there was people not following the signs. I don't know if they spoke the language that the sign was in. It was in English. I don't know, who knows, but they were climbing all over the rocks, but I preferred to, follow the rules, which is, I get 50-50 on that. I sometimes follow the rules, sometimes I don't. So this time I preferred to because I thought it was the safest route. I followed the sign rules. So with that being said, being able to have the car, I was able to go back. Now, if you were on a tour bus, and you were like, take me to, Blue Lagoon for the day, and you go with a bunch of people, you're clearly not going backwards to go hang out with lava rocks and check it out and really just see for yourself. I mean, it was magnificent. It was just unreal to see that. So if you're comfortable driving, Iceland really is one of the easiest countries to road trip and one of the best countries to road trip, because you're going to want to do it, because I got to be honest, there ain't nothing around there. So when we would leave a town, it's desolate. Nothing. There's nothing in between each town. Not a gas station, not a snack shop, not a McDonald's, not even a fruit stand, okay? Except for maybe a few sheep here and there. They were just wandering around. There is nothing for miles. So if you are good with that stuff, it's really it's a great trip. It's an excellent road trip. So I highly suggest it. So let's talk about the thing that everybody always talks about, the Golden Circle. As I mentioned, I'm going to keep this part of the radio show, or this episode, I should say, to the land portion of my trip, because there was a lot to it. So the Golden Circle, is it worth it? My immediate answer, 1,000% yes. And I stopped halfway through that one. You heard me kind of pause. It's because I was going to stop to say, listen, anything in Iceland is worth it. Even the Blue Lagoon, that's super overrated. And I'm not a huge fan, like I've mentioned before, of doing the things that everyone does. I want to find those hidden gems, those really cool things that you just don't, realize are there. But I feel like if you're going all the way over there, the Blue Lagoon, you really should go to it, honestly. So anyways, Golden Circle. Yes, it's completely worth it. So let's talk about it. Almost every first-time visitor does it. You have to. You got to check it off. I got to be honest, there was so much involved in it. So we actually did this as part of the Virgin Cruise. As I mentioned, that we spent the night in Reykjavik on the ship because it just docked there. We spent the night, then we got off the next day. We did it as an excursion. And what we actually did was we snowmobiled on the glacier in the Golden Circle. So I highly suggest that. If you're not going on a cruise, you can 1,000% do this on your own. You do not have to, be on a cruise to have this excursion. They do it all the time. It wasn't just for, Virgin or any of the cruises coming in. It's a thing that they do. It's an excursion that they do. So I highly suggest that. So part of the excursion, like I mentioned, was we got on this wacky, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a bus / Hummer / tanker. I mean, this thing sat up really high. You had to climb 7 steps, I feel like, a ladder to get into it. I mean, I'm exaggerating because I love to exaggerate, but it really, it was 7 steps to get up into it. And you had to climb up into this monster truck is what it felt like. But the wheels were, the tires on this thing were massive, and the treads on them, or the threads, or whatever you want to call them, were freaking phenomenal. It's unreal. We were getting through anything that was going to be in our way. If a glacier had broken in front of us, we were getting through it and over it. I promise you that on this thing. I also think that this thing floated at some point. I honestly think that it would have just totally just been like a boat. It was whatever this car truck thing was. It was unreal. So anyways, we boarded this, amazing mobile, and we headed towards the Golden Circle, and we headed towards where we were going to snowmobile on the glacier. But while we did that, we made stops along the way. So we saw and I'm probably, again, please forgive me for butchering these names, but we stopped at the Gullfoss waterfall. We stopped at the geothermal area where the geysers are. Oh my goodness, I probably should remember the name. So the glacier name, or the glacier area, I don't know what the name of the glacier was. Oh, goodness gracious, please forgive me. But it's Langjökull. Just asked to do snow scooters. If you're going to go look it up and this is something you want to do, just say snow scooters in Golden Circle on a glacier. It will pop up. There's only one place, I got to be honest. So we did that. And like I said, so they got us all dressed up. That was an amazing experience, snow scootering on a glacier. Unreal. But we stopped and saw everything along the way. We saw the geyser, which is called Strokur. So I'm probably saying that wrong again. Strokur geyser. And then the Gullfoss waterfalls, as well as we went to the Pingvellir National Park, where there's 2 continental plates that are literally pulling apart. So all of that stuff exists in the Golden Circle. It is so cool to see. The geysers were awesome. So it's not like Old Faithful in Wyoming where you have to sit around wondering when it's going to happen. Here it just kept going off. I think it said like every 90 seconds it would just go off, and you just waited for it, and poof, it was unreal. It actually scared me. It was super fun though. Super, super cool. The famous waterfall, the Gullfoss waterfall, absolutely gorgeous. Just unbelievably beautiful. We actually had lunch during the excursion at the waterfall. They took us inside and we had lunch in there. It was just, the food was great. So I will tell you, we had lunch a couple times and they served us lamb stew, and or maybe it was lamb soup, not stew. I think it's lamb soup. It's like their key, like, staple. And I have to be honest, this is the first time that I fell in love with lamb. Like I loved lamb before, or I should say I liked lamb before, but I actually really liked it there. The one thing about the Iceland culture is that they live off the land. So every single thing that they use either comes from the land, can be repurposed into the land, is all, they try not to have any trash. Like, everything is very, very sustainable there, as well as their food, all of that stuff. Every single thing is like that there. And they live very clean, and it's unreal. So sheep are abundant there. So lamb was a lot of the things that we ate. It was part of a lot of the stuff that we ate. So it was a great excursion. While, again, like I said, it was part of the ship, you can totally 1000% find it on your own, and they'll I'm sure you can just book it with somebody else. But do the Golden Circle. Don't miss it. It was amazing. So let's go back to the Blue Lagoon. Is it a tourist trap or is it on the bucket list? So I just want to touch base on this really quickly because I know I kind of skimmed over it just a little bit. So let's settle that debate and let's go back to it. Let me start and say, is the Blue Lagoon a touristy attraction? Yes, absolutely. Is it expensive? 1000% yes. Did I make it more expensive? 1000% yes, because I actually did the spa, the retreat, the other side of it. That's way more expensive. So is it worth doing? 1000% yes. So I booked the retreat spa, which is right next door to the actual Blue Lagoon, and that is a private area that you can book. It's not cheap. It's per person, but you have your own section of area where there's not a lot of people. You also have your own private changing room, so you can keep all your stuff in this changing room. It's almost like your own hotel room without a bed, right? There was a shower. There was no toilet. I will tell you that. You still had to go outside to go to the bathroom, but all your stuff got kept in there. You had a key to go in and out if you needed to. It was just a great experience. And the cool part about it was there was nobody there, which was nice. There was nobody on that side. We weren't fighting for areas. Not that anyone fights for any areas, but it's busy on the other side. So we got to take really cool pictures. Like, we were by ourselves. There was not many people around, but there's also a spa experience to it. So, once you kind of hang out in the geothermal spa and your skin starts to feel all slimy and lovely, there was tons of different rooms to relax in and fall asleep in. I mean, there was a fire, there was an ice room, not an ice room. It had stars at the top. So it was kind of like this like relaxation room where the stars were kind of moving around and it played all the, this mystic music and whatnot. There was an outdoor area you can hang out, but there was also a spa aspect, like I was saying, where you do a whole mud bath, right? They give you a mud, then they take it off, then you put something else on, then you go sit here. There was a whole aspect there that was really, really cool. Wipe it off, take another shower, it was crazy, but super fun. So, and we also ate there, which was great. So I highly suggest the retreat. It is just a great experience, and you can also stay there if you want. They have a hotel right at Blue Lagoon. We did not stay there because we wanted to move on and see many other things, and we did have a short period of time right afterwards. I am planning on going back to Iceland, I will tell you, because it's just phenomenal, and I need to see it again and try and do it all over again. But we did not stay. I would totally 1000% stay there at the retreat spa because it was just gorgeous. And when I walked in with my phone, I was trying to take video so that I could report back to everybody and talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And the guy stopped me immediately. He's like, ma'am, no phones in here. And I was like, oh, geez. sorry about that. So he made me turn it off immediately. So I thought that was interesting. And then when we were in the actual geothermal water, they took pictures of us because you could not have your phone on you. So they ended up taking the pictures and making sure nobody else was in the background. Nobody was in the picture but me or whoever I wanted to be in the picture. And it was just a really, really cool experience. I highly suggest it. Like I said, we didn't experience the other side, but we did have friends and clients that were traveling with us that did experience the other side. And they said it was just packed over there. They had a good time. Don't get me wrong. They thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was definitely packed. So that's my take on the Blue Lagoon. Do the retreat if you can, swing it. But it is also close to the airport. So a lot of suggestions are you either do it first or you do it last. But honestly, I would not do it last because it's a lot of work. You're getting in your bathing suit. Your hair gets crunchy from, even though you put your hair up, because I tell you to keep your hair out of the water, your hair gets crunchy from the geothermal water. Like yeah. Don't do it last. That's my opinion before you get on a cruise. I mean, not cruise, ship. Geez Louise. Plane. So Iceland's greatest, obviously. I'm going to come back and talk about that in the next episode. So stay tuned. Please make sure that you come back because I have way more to talk about. I didn't barely get through any of it. So definitely the couple things that I would say, drive. These are the takeaways from this episode. Make sure that you drive, rent a car, drive around, create your own road trip, or obviously Fabulous Adventures can help you create a road trip. We're really good at it and we know it well. And also definitely do the Golden Circle and as well as do the Blue Lagoon. And then don't forget that the things that we learned on this is that there are no northern lights. But there is, I do want to point this out, midnight sun. So the sun stays up until super late in the summer. So summer gives you an endless daylight. It goes on and on and on. So you can hike at 10 p.m. when the sun is still shining. It's nuts, but super, super cool to experience. And they do have blackout curtains in the hotels so that you can, pull the shades down and get some sleep. Because if you are an early sleeper, if you go to bed early, the sun does not set that early. It's still up and ready to go. So like I mentioned, the Northern Lights, if Aurora Borealis is your dream, you want to visit between late September and March. And also you can ice cave walk during that time as well. So remember that. And also remember that the Aurora Borealis is not guaranteed. Even though, I'm sure they probably see it a lot. You're probably better off seeing it in the north. So just make your way around there and go see it. So that is it for this episode. I want to just close this one out and say that I'm continuing again. If you enjoyed my Iceland talks, we're going to talk about it again in the next episode. So come back and join us on the next episode. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And I can't wait to help make your Iceland trip the most amazing, fabulous trip there ever was to Iceland. So if you would like to follow me on any of the social medias, please follow me on Facebook at Samantha-Fabulous Adventures Travel. And if you'd like to contact and book any of these lovely things that I talk about, please come to the website at www.talktravelwithsamantha.com. And we'd love to help you. Also, please go on there and totally tell me all the things. Like, tell me everything. Make comments. Like, be like, oh, lady, that was not good. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me it was not good. Actually tell me, if you've been to Iceland or what I missed, tell me all of that. So stay tuned. Next episode, we're going to finish this off, but thank you so much for joining this one. And you can honestly tell that Iceland is one of my favorite places. And I truly, truly cannot wait to go back. Thank you for joining me on Talk Travel with Samantha. If you're dreaming about Iceland or anywhere else in the world, my team at Fabulous Adventures Travel would love to help you create a vacation that's every bit as unforgettable as the destination itself. Until next time, travel smarter, vacation harder, and we'll chat about Iceland again. I'm Samantha. See you next time.